I'm going to spoil a game called Firewatch, so if you want to play it in the next 3 seconds. The game is an incredibly charming, unique experience that can and should be deeply explored and richly enjoyed, especially if you have Game Pass and get it for free. Oh, and you have to have a VR headset as well, because reviewers and people say that it looks good in 2D, but I literally can't imagine playing this game where I'm not walking through the woods myself. All it takes is downloading a simple mod, dragging and dropping, making sure Steam VR is installed, and boom, you're good to go. It works like a dream, even popping in and out of playing, which most native Quest games can't handle. And once you step into the world of Firewatch and can interact with the objects yourself and look at the compass and spin it around, it's gonna make you want to give up everything and move to the mountains even more than your day job does. But holy shit, is this game a massive blue ball. When it ends, you just want more of it. You want to spend more time in this world, and it's a really cool and good thing that they added free roam after you beat the story. And they also put an audio log so you can listen to development diaries, which is always fun. But it's weird that they save that for the end of the game. It really feels like you should be able to walk around before the end of some of these days. I think there is a real opportunity and need for players to actually go into the wilderness and experience that and learn about real life situations and navigation that they can implement and use. Things like how to prep for a hike properly, or identify a plant or animal based on how it looks and using a guide. But I get it, it's about the human story. It's not about the cool setting that is clearly so painstakingly made. The story itself is basically Pixar's Up. There's a big tragedy in the beginning. A man decides to take his life remote, but instead of a cute little fat kid, it's a woman with a very hot voice and has perfect will they, won't they banter.
Delilah's a nice name.
No, you big dummy.
Your character and hers will talk throughout the day. And your character is voiced by Harry Crane in Mad Men, so it actually works out for the type of guy that you think this person is. The type of guy who runs away from his problems. Luckily, there are no problems. Or rather, they're facing incredibly small ones, like simply navigate to here, or set up a rope there. On gaming stores, it will advertise this as a mystery game, but it's really not that. It's a walking simulator. There is a small and well-done mystery element to it, but it doesn't involve any real detective work. During the height of this story, I had been sucked into this VR world unlike anything other before. Well, except Half-Life Alyx, of course. And, well, maybe Hitman. But I was so ready for some grand payoff. And then it yanks you back down to earth and squashes all of your hopes of being special. Reminding the player that escapism is for fucking babies. Life is not a fantasy. And they should be ashamed of playing video games. Just kidding, it's actually about how it's okay to take your time to process things. And even if we don't believe it, we are stronger than we think. But really, who cares about any of that moral shit? I'm still butthurt that this wasn't some big deep state plot. What the hell, this random dude that's been up here for 3 years by himself has all this equipment and shit? I thought it was gonna be the deep state versus environmentalists. Or maybe some kind of ghost story or something neat. Instead, it's just a dude that lived in the mountains with Wi-Fi and no conflict. In fact, the only conflict that happens in the game is at the start of the game during the flashback sequence. And I'm not gonna lie, as a player, I personally just didn't give a shit about the Australian forget-me-not. Dementia is a very sad thing, and The Notebook is a very sad movie. But it's only a sad movie because you can watch people fall in love in The Notebook. The intro to Firewatch is aesthetic as hell, but it's nowhere near as cute or as charming as the beginning to Up or The Notebook is. And you're just not pulled in as much. Even though that conflict is the main focus of the whole thing. But at the end of this day, it's not really a fault with the game. That's the point of this story. It's supposed to be bitter. About learning your place in the world and how you deal with that. I'd really only say it's worth its money in VR, because I'm not sure if playing on a Pancake PC would be half as fun or half as engrossing as that VR world is. With the Game Standard here at Tibbs TV, I'm Jonathan Rosenblum.